believe that not only can it happen, but it will happen. Hello darlings, and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Sadicka, and for those of you who already subscribed, already know what it is, thank you for clicking on another one. So if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give this video a big fat thumbs up. So for those of you that aren't aware, my Sit and Sip series is basically a place to have tipsy talks about audacious topics. And I also want to be sure that I mention that this is a safe space. When I say safe space, I mean this is a place with no judgments, no preconceived notions, and also no bad energy, bad vibes. If you're a bit already, keep that to yourself. Go over there, find somebody else to give some shade to, because over here we all about sunshine and rainbows, done. And today your girl is sipping on some Baileys and milk. If you're an OG subscriber, you already know this is one of my go-to drinks. I love me some Baileys and milk. And no, this is not sponsored. Baileys, if you'd like to reach out to me, go ahead. You already know my email's down below. But yeah, as I mentioned, this is a safe space. So I want us to be able to discuss topics without feeling any type of way, and I want everyone to be open and honest and be able to share their opinions, their advice, and what their perspective is. For a lot of you that aren't aware, I actually have dealt with anxiety for many years. I don't have really bad anxiety compared to some of the cases that I've studied or I've read about or I've heard about. From what I know and from the doctors that I have spoken to, I have something which is called GAD, which is called Generalized Anxiety Disorder. So usually my anxiety is based on something specific. I know personally for me right now, being in university, also turning 25, trying to figure out my purpose in life, that's usually my underlying things and triggers that cause anxiety. And for each person, it can differ. But usually anxiety can sometimes lead to avoidance, and avoidance also leads to procrastination. So that is a toxic cycle that I will be unpacking and talking about today. Shout out to my girl Alexis, because she loves to use that word, unpack. Let's unpack this. In order to deal with the bigger issue at hand here, which is procrastination, I'm going to start off by talking about 10 tips that I use to deal with my anxiety, because it's so important to calm your anxiety and be in a good headspace before you can tackle any task. So the first tip that I have for you guys is meditation. I'm quite new to the practice of meditation, but as I practice more and more, I realize how helpful and beneficial it is to me. Something to help you get started with meditation, if it is a new practice for you guys, would be guided meditations, which you can find on YouTube, or you can find on just the internet, or even there are some apps that can be helpful for that as well. Meditation is really good with calming your mind, calming your thoughts, and also being in control of your thoughts and your inner voice. And when you're dealing with anxiety, that's a really big thing, as it can seem like a lot of things are out of your control. Number 2 would be positive mantras, also known as positive affirmations. If you follow me on my socials, then I do post positive affirmations quite often. I recently got into the practice, I would say less than a year ago. I had come across this girl named Leor Alexander on Instagram and YouTube, and she had created a positive affirmation track, which is basically her just speaking positive affirmations over like a very zen meditative instrumental. And I started playing that for myself every morning. I also read the book The Secret, and also just doing my own research into the law of attraction, the power of your thoughts becoming things, the power of your mind, and how powerful we are as beings. And I realized that the saying I am is such a big saying, and it holds so much weight and is so powerful, and you can do so much by simply just saying I am blank. You can fill in the blank with whatever. Moving on to the next tip, it is music. For me, music is everything. Like, I played instruments growing up. I played the violin for 4 years, and then I played the flute for 2 years. And I've just always loved music. When I was younger, my mom used to play R&B, hip hop, jazz. She would have the trumpets going, the blues. Like, my mom was so into music, and she would always play music whilst we would go for drives, and that was like a really big thing for me. My camera wants to keep playing me. My camera decided to stop filming on me. But as I was talking about music, when I'm listening to some lit tunes, it gets me into a good vibe, gets my energy going, gets me dancing. It just helps with my mood so much. Moving on, number 4, I have my spirituality and prayer. I mentioned this earlier. I am very close to God, and I was raised being aware of God and being taught about God. I find that having your faith and having belief in something can be really helpful, and it can also keep things objective and subjective at the same time. And the next thing here that I have, number 6, is crystals. I love crystals. Crystals. This is one of my crystals right here. This is actually pyrite, and one of my favorite crystals. I started collecting crystals, I would say a couple of months ago. A friend of mine, Tatiana, shout out to you, girlie. She actually brought me to Happy Soul, which is located in Toronto near Ossington Station. I ended up spending nearly like 2 hours in that store and nearly $100, but I was so happy walking out of the store. And I will say that my crystals really have helped me with setting intentions, with keeping myself grounded. As I mentioned, if you want to see more info about crystals or videos about crystals, comment down below, and that will be coming to you guys as well. The next tip that I have for you guys is Smudge In. So for those of you that aren't aware, Smudge In is when you either burn like sage, or my personal fave is Palo Santo, and you cleanse your space. So I love to cleanse my room, I love to cleanse my whole house. I usually use Palo Santo, I burn it and let the smoke go all throughout my home. And I usually say the following words whilst I do it, which is, I cleanse all incorrect energy. So moving on, I have putting your phone on Do Not Disturb. So this is a really big thing for me. I love keeping my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I'm only notified about the absolutely important things, and turning off your Wi-Fi and data if you do not need it. So with this, it helps you stay in the moment, stay present, and not be distracted by social media or the internet or browsing or having pop-up ads or anything like that to distract you. So with turning off your Wi-Fi and data, you're kind of closing off that door and ensuring that it's just you and yourself and your voice that you're listening to, and make it a little easier for you to navigate. So now I'm going to be talking about the actual tips I use to deal with procrastination itself. I'm gonna try and fly through these because I don't want to make this video too long. If you guys want some more information about anything, comment down below. I'll be answering all of your questions, and I will also be doing follow-up videos on any specific topics that you guys want me to touch on. So number 1 step to dealing with procrastination, for dealing with procrastination, have a clean workspace and to stay organized. So I know for me personally, I like to work on my desk, which I have by my window, so I have the natural daylight. I always try to make sure that I have all of my things organized on my desk. So I have my laptop on one side, my books on another, my pens, and I have everything kind of lined up in front of me just to make it easier for me to grab things and know where everything is, and also leaving less room for distractions or being like unfocused, which kind of just ends up being a whole tumbleweed of things. Okay. Number 2 would be making a plan. I love to do this in the nighttime. I love to write out my to-do list for the next day, and it usually makes me start to mentally prepare for all of the things I have to do the next day and get excited about the things I have to do the next day. And then it also helps me the next day to stay on track and on task because I know I have a list of things to do. With this tip, it can be a bit of a yin and a yang because sometimes when you have such a long list, it can seem daunting and cause you to procrastinate even more. Usually, I like to put the things in priority in bold and underline them, and then the things that aren't so much of a priority lower on the list. And I try to organize my tasks of doing something I like, then doing something I don't necessarily like, and then doing something I like, and rewarding myself in between as well. So that kind of just helps me with actually getting through the list instead of just having a long, daunting list that scares you even more and makes you procrastinate even more. So the next one here is actually known as the Pomodoro Effect. This is when you take intervals of work and then take a break afterwards. One of the first ones that I learned about was doing the 25 minutes of work and then a 5-minute break in between. I'm not sure if that's like the specific Pomodoro effect, but Pomodoro literally just means that you're taking intervals of work and breaks. Obviously the intervals can be interchangeable, but the whole point is that you do more work and less of a break. But as you're doing this consistently, it will get you in the momentum of getting work done. Hence, no procrastination. Next up here, I have two things that kind of go hand in hand, and it's all about your health. The first one is eating healthy, making sure that you're getting nutritious meals, make sure you're having snacks. This is something that I sometimes am not the best with. If you know me, your girl has a sweet tooth. I'm addicted to sugar and I don't really like vegetables. If you're not a great eater like myself, then taking your vitamins, I do that, which can help you gain those nutrients that you're maybe missing out due to your diet. And the other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that is working out. You don't necessarily have to do a specific gym workout, but just keeping your body active, releasing any stagnant energy, and also getting that oxygen flowing throughout your body can be really helpful and beneficial to you and making sure that you're not procrastinating. The next tip that I have here is having an accountability friend or speaking to some type of professional. I actually just got a call from one of my accountability friends, and we check up on each other all throughout the day. We keep each other accountable of getting our work done. We sometimes ask each other what the other one has to do so that we can remind each other, keeping each other motivated, and also just being a listening ear when we need to vent or talk, rant, or whatever it is. I find that having someone that you can speak to, especially during times of anxiety or procrastination, can kind of help you get back on track. If you don't have a specific friend that you can reach out to, then I would say maybe finding a therapist or a counselor can also be really beneficial as well, as that can help you deal with your thoughts, your feelings. So the last two tips that I have here is either watching a motivational video or listening to a podcast or a motivational speech. I would say if you're in a specific field of work or studies, then maybe looking at someone that you aspire to be like or someone that inspires you can be really helpful. Last off here, I have a tip that is sometimes undermined, but it is very, very important, and it is getting rest. Any type of electronic device that you use needs to be charged, and the same goes for your body. I hate this house phone. I'm like the queen of staying up late nights and not really getting enough sleep, and I do notice that when I am tired or restless, it is a lot harder for me to get any work done, and then I end up procrastinating and doing things that aren't beneficial to me, like sitting down and binge watching a show in bed. But that's why I'm here doing this video, to share my tips with you guys and also to remind myself that I gotta do it too. Okay? A couple bonus tips that I wrote here was imagine the life that you want to have and imagine yourself having that life. Now think of all of the good things that you're going to have in that life. And remember that that life can't just be handed to you. You have to do your part too in order to get that life. Just think of where you're trying to get to and why you started doing what you're doing. And let that reignite the fire inside of you to fight procrastination and keep pushing through. Final tip that I want to end off with is believing in yourself. Believe that you're special, believe that it's possible, and believe that not only can it happen, but it will happen. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned for this video. I hope it was informative for you guys. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. As you already know what to do, give this video a big fat thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys thought about this video or any other content that you guys want to see from me. Share this video with your friends and fam. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell notification. Follow me on all of my socials, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Love and light and blessings. Bye.